What's happening, everybody? It's Sean with reactions to the classics, and today we got a top 10 songs reactions to natural disasters brought to us by friend, longtime supporter, and patron of the channel, Osmond. Thank you, Osmond. Appreciate you. Appreciate all the patrons who make this thing go. We couldn't do it without you. We put up videos every single day. If you'd like to support us anyway, check out the Patreon link below or the patron link on the end screen. Well, there's really no background on this. I'm just always amazed how some of our patrons, just their musical knowledge to come up with 10 songs that have natural disasters basically in the title. It's an eclectic mix, a bunch of great artists in here. So if you've never watched one of our videos before, the music will not be in the video, but it will be at a Vimeo link below. So follow along with this. Let's just jump into this thing. And I do need to mention these are in no particular order. So I just put them in the order that Osmond had them on his list. We got the great Manic Street Preachers with Tsunami from the album This Is My True, Tell Me Yours in 1998, which scored very high on my album drafts. If you haven't watched those, Trey and I went through every single year from 1965 to 2022 and picked our top 5 albums each for a top 10. And this was very high. Although I've only listened to this album once, If You Tolerate This, Your Children Will Be Next is one of my favorite songs of all time. And it's actually on this album. So this was the 4th and final single, number 11 in the UK. All 3 members of the band, of course, James Dean, Bradfield, Sean Moore, and Nicky Wire share the writing credits. Tsunami is, of course, the Japanese word for big wave. This is a biography of June and Jennifer Gibbons, the so-called silent twins who refused to speak to anyone but each other in a self-invented language from an early age. They came to the attention of the general public after turning to petty crime to gain recognition for their literary talents and being sentenced to detention at Broadmoor Hospital, a high-security mental health hospital. The girls formed a pact which stated that if one were to die, the other must start talking again and live a full and happy life, and indeed eventually came to believe one of them would have to die in order for the other to live. When Jennifer died in March of '93, June fulfilled her end of the bargain, stating, "I'm free at last, liberated, and at last Jennifer has given up her life for me." This song in particular, is unique in the band's catalog. It's largely built around an electric sitar and strings. All right, well, I love the lyrics up as always. Thanks again, Osmond. Let's get it. Tsunami. All right, it's already in my head, man. That electric sitar is definitely dominant throughout this song, but I thought it was fantastic, man. I thought it was fantastic. I think it just kind of deals with that relationship, right? We talked about of the sisters, right? And you know what it feels like when you're that close to somebody, right? Like when you're that bonded to somebody. But I mean, that was fantastic. Next up is an artist I've never heard of, Badly Drawn Boy, Cause a Rock Slide, from the album The Hour of Bewilder Beast in 2000. I wanted to say Bewilderment, but I didn't. A little bit about Badly Drawn Boy. Damon Michael Gow, known by the stage name Badly Drawn Boy, is an English indie singer-songwriter, multi-instrumentalist. Gow chose his stage name from a character in the show Sam and His Magic Ball, which he saw on TV at a party in 1995. In 2002, Q Magazine named Badly Drawn Boy in their list of the 50 bands to see before you die. Although this was as part of a sub-list of 5 bands that could go either way, on account of Gow's tendency to talk and tell stories for extended periods in concert, rather than play songs. He's got 9 studio albums. Let's do it. Song just abruptly ends, so I have to just kick it right there. An interesting song. I don't know what I think of it. Maybe I like it, maybe I don't. I don't know, but it is interesting because he's got 2 verses. He repeats the first verse twice. Then you get all this sound structure noise. And then he comes in with like what sounds like a totally different song, and it's nice and clear because the other stuff is mixed to the background. But kind of what I expected when I was reading a bunch of stuff. I didn't share with you everything that I read, but kind of what was expected from Badly Drawn Boy, and a very unique track. Remember, just reminding you again, these are not in any sort of ranking order. Damien Rice, Volcano, was up next from O in 2003, his debut solo album. He's an Irish musician, singer-songwriter, began his career as a member of the 1990s rock group Juniper. The band enjoyed moderate success in Ireland. After leaving the band in 1998, he worked as a farmer in Tuscany. Very interesting. He just got out of the music business and busked throughout Europe before returning to Ireland in 2001, beginning his solo career. 3 studio albums. This is the 3rd and final single. He actually wrote this while he was still in Juniper. Damien Rice, Volcano. Really should be Damien Rice and Lisa Hannigan, who he was romantically involved with at the time, because they sing this basically as a duet. And even at the end there, I like the opposing lines, right? It's not even a call and response. They're layering over the top of each other, gives it an interesting texture. like the arrangement on it. I mean, basically the idea of it is, look, we're together and we kind of like the idea of being with someone more than actually being with them. So we're really kind of opposites. We're really not feeling the same way in this relationship as the other one is. But yeah, I thought that was a really, really good job on that one. Next up is Deer Hunter with Earthquake from Halcyon Digest. I never know how to say that, from 2010. Fifth studio album, Pitchfork's 29th best album of the decade, by the way. If you don't know about Deer Hunter, they're an American indie band from Atlanta, Georgia, formed in 2001. They currently consist of Bradford Cox on vocals, guitars, keyboards, Moses Archuleta on drums, electronics, sound treatments, Lockett Punt on guitars, vocals, keyboards, Josh McKay on bass, and Javier Morales on keyboards, synths, and saxophone. They've kind of changed around the lineup some. I can't guarantee you that's who was on this album, but that's mainly who was on this album. Deer Hunter describes themselves as ambient rock, though they incorporate a wide range of genres, including noise, garage, rock, art rock, as well as significant pop elements. So we don't know what we're going to get here with Earthquake. All right, Deer Hunter, Earthquake. This is really all about the soundscape, right? The lyrics are pretty much nonsensical, and you can't even really understand him on most of it. So it's just, if you dig that repeating sound in there, and the longer it went, the more I liked it. I'm not really a great fan of this kind of music, but I mean, it was good for what it is. And I mean, you know, Earthquake is one of the worst natural disasters there are. So good choice there. Now we get to a man that I'm very familiar with, the great Leonard Cohen, Avalanche from the Songs of Love and Hate in 1971. So we have a full review up that we did a while back. And Osmond also did two fantastic Leonard Cohen top 10s. I definitely encourage you to check out those. This is considered one of Cohen's classic songs. The English lyrics are based on his poem, I Stepped into an Avalanche, which is included in Parasites of Heaven. He remarked about the original recording of the song in general. He said, quote, there's something in the voice that is really wiped out. It's a disturbing voice. There is anxiety there. The great Leonard Cohen, Avalanche, man alive. The acoustic on here, it drives the angst, right? And the anxiety. Like, it is just fantastic. I'm not going to read it all to you, but his lyrics are, if you don't know Leonard Cohen, you need to know him, right? He's an obscure guy if you're here in the United States. Like, I didn't know anything of Leonard Cohen before we started this channel, but you know, like verse 2, you strike my side by accident as you go down for your gold. The cripple here that you clothe and feed is neither starved nor cold. He does not ask for your company, not at the center of the world. Just with Leonard's voice, it just fits the ambiance of this song so well. Just a fantastic choice. All right, we're halfway through this list. Remember, it is not in order. Next up, we have Pinegrove and Cyclone, which I've been caught in a few of those in my life, and that is not very much fun. From the 1111 album, 2022, their fifth studio album. A little bit about them. They're an American rock band formed in Montclair, New Jersey in 2010. The lineup was largely fluid and variable, with singer-songwriter Evan Stevens Hall and drummer Zach Levine representing as core members. They met as children and played in various bands before founding Pinegrove. The band's musical style, which uses instruments such as the banjo and pedal steel guitar, is commonly described as a mix between alt country and emo, which you don't see very often. They have 5 studio albums. They're known for their literary lyricism and the loyal following of fans who refer to themselves as Pine Nuts. The band's name comes from a prominent pine tree row on a nature reserve at Kenyon College, where Hall attended college. They're also recognized with their alignment with progressive causes, including charitable contributions to civil rights organizations. All right, Cyclone. Little REM sounding, right? Just a little bit of REM influence in there. Basically, the cyclone is in his head, right? And it's really this girl, and he doesn't want to be there anymore with that cyclone. You have something spinning around in your head, and you just can't get it out. We've all been there, right? And the more you try to not focus on it, the more it just kind of seems to come to your subconscious, or you wake up, right? That's what happens to me. And it's the first thing I think of. It's right there in the mind, but a really good song there. Next up, if you know Osmond at all, not a surprise, Sufjan Stevens, Landslide from the Ascension album in 2020, his 8th studio album. Osmond did 3 top 10s on Sufjan Stevens. They are fantastic. Go check those out after this. A really good track, you know, more electronica, very well produced, just what you would expect from Sufjan. Sounds fantastic, really just about a significant other and kind of the dichotomy there. But yeah, a good song, man. I mean, the thing about Sufjan is he can sound so much different on any given track and on any given album. That's one of the beauties of him. So like I said, if you haven't checked him out, don't know anything about him, go check out those top 10s. Next up is another artist I've never heard of, the Tom Russell Band, Hurricane Season from the album of the same name in 1991. The Tom Russell Band. Wow, man, that song was great. Percussion on there, the drumming, the guitar work, the story, right? You got to watch who you get involved with. Hurricane season in the house, right? Because there's a very, this man and woman, they're not seeing eye to eye, right? They got that fire in that love, but then that combusts into the hurricane whenever things are not going the protagonist's way, right? Because he, he might have been playing around a little bit, but he's got fond memories of this girl. But man, what a good song. We got 2 songs left. We got Jonsi, Tornado from the Go album in 2010. Jonsi, of course, is an Icelandic musician. He's the vocalist and multi-instrumentalist for the Icelandic post-rock band Sigur Rós. He is known for his use of the cello bow on guitar and his angelic falsetto or counter tenor voice. I do have a top 10 of these guys up as well. Sigur Rós. Jonsi, Tornado. Look, that song was fantastic. I love the ambience. I love the build. I love his voice. It's just great, man. It's just great. I don't even know what all he was talking about, right? It doesn't really matter. Like, there's no lyrics for this song anywhere. I mean, I was listening along, but you just vibe with the arrangement, man. All of it works well. The arrangement with his voice is just, it's hard to describe exactly why it works so well. It just always does. And like I said, this is not a numerical order, but this is the last song, and I thought it was fitting to leave it in the order that Osmond had it because I know it's one of Osmond's all-time faves. Bob Dylan, Down in the Flood, also known as Crash on the Levee. We're playing the version from Bob Dylan's Greatest Hits, Volume 2 in 1971. This is a song by Dylan, originally recorded by him in 67 with the band. One of the 1967 recordings was released on the 1975 album, The Basement Tapes, and re-released in 2014 on the Bootleg Series Volume 2, The Basement Tapes Complete, along with the preceding tape. Dylan re-recorded the song with Happy Traum in September 71, using slightly different chords for inclusion on this version from Bob Dylan's Greatest Hits Volume 2. Trey and I actually did this in a song battle a little while back, but I mean, I've only heard it once and I don't remember. Down in the Flood, I always say this, Trey and I both do, about all the Dylan stuff that, was never released or outtakes. Right? He'd be better than 95% of the artists who've released everything just with his unreleased stuff and outtakes. But a good song. I thought his voice sounded really good on this one. A little warning to her that, I think he's leaving her and she's going to have to find another best friend now. That's kind of the metaphor of the flood. That's going to take me to my favorite tracks. And I'll tell you what, man, this was a great list. And I mentioned it at the top, but to be able to come up with these natural disaster songs, to be able to come up with 10 of them with all these different natural disasters and have them all be quality is quite impressive for Osmond's musical knowledge. Not that I doubted his musical knowledge is fantastic. There wasn't any song on here I didn't like. Honorable mentions, we'll go with Damien Rice, Lisa Hannigan, we'll give her a shout out on there, with Volcano, and the Tom Russell Band with Hurricane Season. That song was really good. Faves, we'll go with Manic Street Preacher, Tsunami, Leonard Cohen, Avalanche, Pinegrove, Cyclone, and Jonsi, Tornado, man. Fantastic stuff. So let me know what you think of this list down below. What were your favorites? What other natural disaster songs that are really good can you think of? Give me a few suggestions down below. If you haven't already, give this a thumbs up and hit the subscribe. We got about 2,300 videos. You'll find some other stuff you like. Remember, go check out the Leonard Cohen top 10s, the Sufjan Stevens top 10s, just to name a few that are from this list that Osmond has done. All right, guys, until next time, I will see you.